Hey everybody, my name is NickBasaraba. I am a senior in journalism and media communications degree, um, and I live in Portland, Oregon. I don't have a ton of experience with science journalism. This is a timely class for me because I'm starting to get into this type of work more and more. And I'm really realizing that I do have some shortcomings, so I'm excited to kind of see what happens here. Most of my experience from a writing and journalism perspective is a lot of creative storytelling. So, writing stories of past experiences in ways that are descriptive and that help encapsulate emotions and feelings and that sort of thing. And also, I've been getting more into conservation and advocacy writing. I've done some stories over the past couple years, one in particular about the Biden administration designating national monuments at the end of that presidency of that administration. So that was kind of my first introduction where I went out and did interviews and photographed and traveled and did a big thing and wrote a story for a magazine. And then also, I've been working and volunteering with conservation groups here in Portland, Oregon that are focused on river and forest conservation. And that's kind of where my direction is headed towards. And I'm starting to get into a little bit more of that writing and learning more about the challenges of our watersheds here in Oregon and what the problems that they're facing and the things that people are doing to address them. So I'm really interested to get more into the science facts and be more comfortable talking about that kind of stuff and having just a better way of explaining information. And that's kind of the basis of what I want to learn in this class. So being able to read research papers, trying to understand um, kind of the more hardline scientific data, and then using that in ways that I can combine my skills of creative storytelling and create a piece that's informational and has important facts while also using my voice in my interpretation and having a bringing the human element into it from my point of view. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more about that. Um, I'm all over the place in my reading, in my movies, in my viewing. Love fiction. Obviously, as a writer, I love creative nonfiction. I've been getting a little bit more into historical fiction off and on. There's some great writers that are I constantly am cycling books, and those are James Michener, who writes these big epic novels about landscapes and people, and then also um, yeah, that's pretty much it. But my most recent book that I've read, and it's blown my mind. I've read this one a few times, but it's about Polynesian history, which is kind of coinciding. I'm watching the new Apple TV series Chief of War, which is about the unification of the Hawaiian kingdoms under King Kamehameha, which is a really, really, really cool show, and I'm enjoying it. And so I wanted to get kind of back into the history of Polynesians and how they colonized the Pacific Ocean, and it was a really interesting book. So that's been my recent fascination. And then in general, just natural history and human use of the environment and their landscapes, whether that's modern humans or historic instances. I find that all really interesting. And then just from my perspective, I mean, this is from where I'm coming from, science journalism versus like conservation journalism, which is on paper are very similar. But the two distinctions that I see is the science aspect is probably more focused on process and methods, and then results, and then organizing that into a um, a paper that explains all of that very well in detailed form, more rigid, if you will. This might be the improper um, interpretation of it. And then conservation journalism takes facts and science, but then also brings in opinions of researchers or people who have livelihoods or stakeholders of a certain topic or issue, and have a common goal of preservation. So it's kind of towing that line between um, like advocacy, conservation with a basis of science. So yeah, look forward to getting to know some of you, and I hope you all have a good semester. Thanks.